I'm with athletics, but I also do AV club.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You do all the sports?
Yeah, all the JV sports, because they have people who do it professional for varsity.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. It's good for my resume.
Welcome back to basketball, you Highland Park Scotties. Wow, it's been a long time since I've been able to say that since this lockdown has happened. Goodness, we got a Ryder White starting, Dylan Walker out there, Davis Lee, and Charlie Lozelle. Scots the rebound, Ryder on the baseline, swings it over to Lee. Lee drives, blocked at the rim, rebounded by John Paul II. Now this Scots team has had trouble with the lockdown and that they weren't able to practice, but thank goodness they got their season over before the nationwide lockdown was issued. Even then, they still try to practice as much as they can, going on outdoor courts like Drew McElroy posted a lot over the season. He is on varsity now. Scots get the stop. White drives. Walker passes into Lozelle. Lozelle and one. Great start to the game for these Highland Park Scotties. Now, we have some familiar faces from last year, including Ryder White, coming back for his second season on JV Gold, starting this year. But his sophomore buddies, Jackson Heiss, Drew McElroy, and Colson Messer have all made the move to varsity. White gets the rebound off of a missed shot by Walker. Walker to Lee. Doesn't get the three. Rebounded by John Paul II, but they have made the jump to varsity, hoping to get some playing time there. Foul. There's a blocking foul, number 2. And John Paul goes to the line for 2. We have Bartu Seville, Flynn Hatch, and Wells Milton on the bench today. And we do have some players playing with masks today on the opposing team. First one in, second one out. Walker pushes the tempo. Over to Lee, back to Walker. Gives it to Lozelle. Lozelle on the pick and roll. Gives it to McPherson. McPherson into Lozelle off his feet. Tough play there for the Scots. Trying to create a tempo here. It's going to be hard. Low scoring affair so far, going in for about 4 minutes. McPherson on the wing. Paul drives, fumbles the ball. Look, it's going to be a double dribble. Scott's ball. Now we have a new coach of this JV Gold team. His name is Coach Sowden. Coach Bean is not be able to make it because of his football constraints as he's coaching the varsity team. So we got Sowden here to coach. Quick moves, Lozelle in the paint. Lozelle gets a bucket. He's got 4 so far. McPherson contests the shot. 3 ball goes. Tie game. Lee on the 3. Off the back end of the rim, but McPherson gets the rebound, swings it over to Ryder. Ryder nails the 3. He's got 3 so far. John Paul moving them around a little bit, getting it across the 3-point line. And this looks like it's going to be a foul on John Paul. Todd McPherson taking up the play. Walker swinging it around. McPherson finds Lee. Lee takes a shot. Bang! 3-pointers. It's guns a-blazing here for the Highland Park Scotties. That's our second 3 so far in this first quarter. We have a 6-point lead on John Paul. Number 15 already in foul trouble with 2 fouls. Davis Lee starting out shooting. Already had a couple shot attempts so far. No new subs here for the Highland Park Scotties. John Paul ball. Three shot, no good. Ryder nearly gets that rebound. It's very contested. Paul using the pick and roll. McPherson with tight defense blocked by Charlie Lozelle. And that's hustle ball by Ryder White, but does not get that ball. It is Highland Park Scotty's ball, though. Lozelle taking on the wing. Over to Walker. Walker nearly loses the ball. Goes around in the corner. Ryder White 3. Off the front end of the rim. Lozelle having trouble with the rebound. Managed to get it out over to Lee. Lee with the 3-ball. Bang! Davis Lee already has 6 so far. Goodness, the man is shooting lights out. Davis Lee forcing the ball away. Ryder White gets that hustle ball. And that's our ball. Now, we are missing our two big men this game. Ryan Phillips, you may remember him from last season as the kid who always looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And Thomas Jackman, a huge dominating center. So we may see a little bit of Flynn Hatch, who's the second tallest player on this team so far, at the 5. Shot missed. Good defense there from Walker. He forces it out, and it's our ball. Dylan Walker has that intense motor there. Really making defensive stops. McPherson doing a pretty solid job handling the offense so far. Taking it up. Gets over to Walker. Davis Lee with another 3. Gets hit on the way back. He gets another 3 attempt. Off the front iron. Walker gets it. Rebound back over to McPherson. McPherson spins. Loses the ball. And we got a transition attempt from John Paul, but the ball is fumbled. And Dylan Walker, ooh, tough possession there. Walker nearly got the defensive stop there. He almost had that block. McPherson hesitates, drives, cuff. Ooh, Todd McPherson. Tons of contact, but still gets the bucket and a little to go. He's going to the line for his 3rd. This John Paul team is very close to the bonus. Bartu Seville subs in for Todd McPherson. Now, Seville is more known for his defensive prowess. Had the opportunity to play basketball against him. And he's hard, very hard to break, I'll tell you that. Walker gets the defensive stop. He's got the transition 1-on-3. And he gets the foul. He's going to the line for 2. Walker really showing out on the defensive end today. First one up. In. That's Walker's first points of the game. And the second is good. Swish. 2 points on the board. Flynn Hatch subbing in for Charlie Lozelle. Ryder White getting angry on the defensive end. Barty Seville and Davis Lee getting that trap going. Ball drives over to the wing. Spins, hesitates, takes a shot. Off the back end. Walker with the rebound, swings it over to Lee. Lee in the corner. Hatch drives. Does not get the bucket. White on the defensive end. Disrupts the pass, or not the pass, shot. Seville with the rebound, and it is a tough play there. We have a player down. Looks like he's going to get a sub out. Foul on number 12. I believe they're inching closer and closer to the bonus. 7 fouls already. And Bartu Seville, because of that bonus, will go to the line for 2. Wells Milton subbing in for Davis Lee. Milton being a two-sport player in both baseball and basketball. Gonna have a tough schedule come semester 2, as these seasons do interfere. Seville gets both to drop. And Scott's established a 14-point lead. Walker being responsive on the defensive end. Hands up, hands up. Milton on the baseline. And there's a foul on Wells Milton. Flynn Hatch gets the steal, and he was out. Ooh, tough break there for Flynn Hatch. He really wanted to push the transition. Flynn Hatch getting very, very responsive, getting his hands up. That is a second disruption in a row on each pass. Paul finally gets it in on their third attempt for the inbound. Takes a shot off the front iron. Walker with a nice pass to Flynn Hatch on the other end. Hatch is hyped as he gets his first 2 of the game. Seville getting responsive. Hatch disrupting the pass. Foul on Hatch. Paul will go to the line, try to get a 2. John Paul's already in foul trouble with 7 fouls already, so it looks like they are going to be very, very cautious on the defensive end. First one's up. Off the front. Rim. Ryder White pushing the transition after Hatch gets the rebound. Gets it over to Milton in the corner, who finds Seville. Over to Davis Lee, or excuse me, Dylan Walker. Milton in the corner. Does not get it to fall. Great passing there from those Highland Park Scots, though. With Davis Lee and Charlie Lozelle subbing in for Ryder White and Dylan Walker. Minton on the inbound. Finds Seville. Seville off the wing. Ooh, tough shot. Was that? I believe that might have been blocked. Ooh, nearly a backcourt violation. Ooh, tough break with John Paul. 2, because they are having a very sloppy game so far. Only 6 points on the board with 7 fouls. Hatch on the shot. Gets to go back. Charlie Lozelle, good defense in the paint. Milton taking it up. Finds Seville in the corner. Seville with a 3. Does not get it to fall. Milton gets it again. Drives. Goes up. Does not get it to fall. Milton playing pretty tough today. Just slipped on the court. Throws up a prayer way before the shot ever ended. And it is 22-6 Highland Park. So far, these Highland Park Scots are being pretty dominant, coming off a 2 scrimmage quickie this past week. Playing pretty efficient basketball with Davis Lee being your leading scorer with 6. He's nailed 2 threes so far. He looks like he's want to come out shooting. And in the second quarter, Highland Park Scotties are ready to continue their dominance of this game. I bet Coach Sowden is very pleased with his team's performance so far, as they are completely taking over this game on the defensive and offensive end. Milton disrupts the shot, gets it to not fall. Seville with the rebound, gets it over to Hatch. Hatch is going to drive, finds Milton, but I believe that's a travel. Milton had that wide open shot in the corner. I know Hatch is pretty upset that he traveled there. Lozelle disrupts the shot. Davis Lee saves the ball, but gets it right over to John Paul II, and John Paul II gets their first bucket of the second quarter after a long dry spell. Looks like trying to do full poker press to try to tire this team out for the third and fourth quarter. Davis Lee drives, finds Hatch, but gets the shot blocked. Not shot, pass. Excuse me. Milton gives it to Lee. Lee to Seville. Seville drives. Tries to get over to Milton, but the pass is disrupted. Milton fouls. And they will go to the line for 2. Milton wanted to get that chase down block there. I could tell it in his eyes. First one falls, second one does not. Seville pushing the tempo here on the offensive floor. Seville gets it to Lozelle. Back to Seville. Seville drives, finds Minton in the corner. Does not get it to fall. Lozelle gets a pretty convincingly dominant rebound. Literally grabbing it over his head. John Paul II gets that 3 ball, cutting it back to 12. Charlie Lozelle already has 6 so far. Milton drives, finds Seville in the corner, gets it over to Hatch. Hatch drives over to Lozelle. Lizelle throws it up. Bang, bang. Lizelle is your team's leading scorer, now overtaking Davis Lee. He's got 9 already. Sloppy defense for the Highland Park Scots leads to a wide open 3, but luckily it is missed. Same sloppy defense again. Leads to an open drive, but they miss again. Lee slows it down. Gets it over to Lizelle. Davis Lee with bad communication, and they're going to get a fast break. And that is a fancy layup by John Paul II. They are cutting this lead, trying to cut it back down to single digits, but your Highland Park Scotties is still up 13. Lizelle over to Milton. Lizelle wanted like he passed to Lizelle. God. Ooh. Tough possession for the Highland Park Scots. Seville got blocked at the other end. Foul on Milton. That's his 3rd foul already. Hatch and Milton sub out for Walker and McPherson. Timeout, John Paul. Scotty's getting into foul trouble themselves so far. 5 fouls already. Looks like John Paul is trying to gather their men back together. Excuse me, to try to rally in this second quarter. Try to get it below 10-point deficit. McPherson, Walker, Lee, and Lizelle on the court. Lizelle on the trap defense. McPherson edges his defender out. Ball goes out over the rim and over the backboard. McPherson over to Lee, who gets it over to Lizelle. Back to McPherson. McPherson drives, gets it into Lizelle. Gets it up and one. Lizelle. He's going to the line. He's already got 11, and he's going for 12 right here. And he's got 12. Charlie Lizelle is balling. I repeat, Charlie Lizelle is balling right now. Davis Lee with the great defensive stop. He's on the fast break. Gets 2. That's 8 for Lee already. They are already showing out, these Highland Park Scots, mainly due to help from their upperclassmen. Bartu Seville gets a block. Lee getting fancy with it as they are running a full court press, try to tire these Scots out. Walker in the corner, found by McPherson. Does not get it to fall. Seville misses the rebound, but gets it over to Lee. Back into Walker, gets stuffed at the rim. Lizelle reaches there. And he gets fouled. First of the game so far. Playing pretty efficient basketball. Looks like they are back to running that 1-3-1 defense that they are always known for. Getting traps on the wings. McPherson getting aggressive with it. Trying to force a bad decision. Davis Lee almost got there. Sets up the 3. He nails it. 15-point deficit for John Paul II. Highland Park still in the driver's seat here. Davis Lee pick and roll for Charlie Lizelle. Gets it back to McPherson. McPherson finds Lizelle. Mizell tries to throw it back in because he was going out of bounds, but it goes right to John Paul II. Varsity Seville with the defensive breakdown. Foul on 12. McPherson taking the ball up. Crosses over to Ryder. Lee throws it back across the court to Ryder. Ryder with the three. No good. Lozelle with an aggressive rebound, though. He gets 2. Lozelle's got 14 in the first half already. Folks, we've still got 3 minutes to go. Todd McPherson with the rebound. Ryder White drives in, does not get that fast layup to go. But Ryder White with a great effort there gets the steal on the other hand, and Walker tries to force a pass into Lozelle. Looks like they're trying to feed the beast here. Ryder White showing out his game. Maybe not on the scoring category, but certainly he's giving an effort on both ends. Ryder drives, gets it over to Lee. Back to Ryder White. Ryder White nails that three. And he's got 6. Good defensive play there by Todd McPherson. John Paul tries to save it, but they throw it from the out of bounds to out of bounds. And Walker inbounds it to McPherson, and McPherson takes that ball up once again. Tough on-ball defense from John Paul II. They want to force a bad mistake. McPherson gets it into Walker, and Walker gets a foul. And he will go to the line for 2. Trying to get his total up to 3. Maybe even 4. Coach Stoughton giving White some tips. First does not fall for Walker. .20 lead for your Highland Park Scots. As John Paul has 10 fouls already. That is unheard of. Shoot, with the players they have on the floor, they could have a bonus. Well, they are in the bonus, but even if they didn't have 10 fouls, players on the floor, 12 and 21, have a combined 5 fouls. Lozelle the inbound. Gives it to McPherson. On-ball defense trying to tire these Scotties out, but they do not know the amount of running that these Scots do. McPherson missed the shot. Lee drives, fancy touch. Does not get it to fall, though. Good defense by Walker. Does not help these John Paul II players, these Cardinals. Wide open Lee. Gets a 3. I mean, did I even need to rhyme there? Like, I mean, the guy's already got 11. 0 fouls. Looks like Lee is trying to be a sort of Klay Thompson type player. Purely shooting threes. Even though he does have it too, because he's at 11. McPherson gets it over to Walker. Walker into Lee. Lee, I'm telling y'all, Lee might be the real deal. Lee's got 13 already. John Paul Cardinals get a 3 to try to end the half. But McPherson gets a rebound. It's 2-on-2. Walker gets it from Lee, and Walker gets the points at the other end. Walker's got 5. McPherson gets the block. Red ball. Cardinals ball after Walker touches it out. John Paul to inbound. Three ball is airballed. John Paul trying to find some offense, but they are not going to get it until 21 just decides to hit a three. Walker trying to push the tempo to get the shot up for the clock. Ooh. Gets fouled. I thought that was going to be a Paul George type shot there, but I realized he did get fouled. That's going to be a tech. Not a tech. Excuse me. Lee and Lizelle into rebound. Walker's up. Second one does not fall. Lee tried to tip it in there for an extra 2 to go along with those side of fries. But it does not fall. Highland Park Scotties, 46. John Paul Cardinals, 22. I'm Owen Marie signing off for the first half. I'll see you in a minute.
figured you would, but okay. Now I can finish building. Gotta remember how all this stuff went together. It's been a while. Everything got scattered everywhere, for other productions. And now it's like I gotta remember how to put all this stuff back together. Yeah. Once I get it, then I remember, and it's pretty easy. I wish they would make these things.
Hey, Drew.
See, that kills, that's a 6 plug, and I can pretty much just get 3 plugs in.
Welcome back, Highland Park Scotties, for the second half of your JV Gold basketball. Lee over to Ryder into Charlie Lozelle. He's got 2. Start out the second half. Already at 16 for the game. Scots looking to extend their lead. John Paul trying to use the pick and roll. And they get the 3. McPherson trying to set a tempo here for the Highland Park Scots, trying to slow the game up, get some of their energy back up because of this full court press that John Paul's playing. Ryder controlling the tempo. Over to Lee, the 3-point god. Does not get it to fall. Or gets it to fall. Does not get it to fall, meaning make it. Ryder White. Active defense so far. I think I've noticed out of these new Highland Park JV Gold players are an active, responsive, high motor defense that I haven't really seen before. But they may potentially get run off the court if they don't keep their tempo up in accordance to John Paul Cardinals' high tempo so far. Here's taking the ball up. Pick and roll off Lozelle. Over to Walker. Ryder White gets it back to Lozelle. Lee on the 3-point wing. On the baseline, gets it tapped out. And they are going to slow it up, speeding it back up again into the paint. Does not get to fall, and that's a foul. looks to be on Dylan Walker, and John Paul will go to the line for 2. First one's up, and good. 27 for John Paul. And that second one does not fall. Lizelle gets the rebound and gets over to McPherson, who is leading the charge for your Highland Park Scotties offense. McPherson back on the baseline from a pass from Lee. Gets it over to Ryder, does not get it to fall. Their 3 ball does not fall. White tries to save it. Runs straight into that wall and does not get the save. Fortunately, there was padding. Lee taps the ball out from that pass. He's got a pretty much wide open transition. Ooh, that's a goaltending for Lee. I thought he was about to smack that ball off the backboard, but it was way too late. Coach Stoughton still trying to play aggressive basketball, still keeping his foot on the gas. Lizelle contests the shot, gets it not to fall, or gets it to fall. Throws it way up in the stands trying to save it. McPherson calling plays. Gets it over to Lizelle. Walker back to McPherson, over to White for the 3. Straight ball fall. Ryder White got himself 9 so far. Foul on Highland Park. It's gonna be on Todd McPherson. Now, Todd's actually got an older brother who you may remember from last year, John McPherson, who made the move up to varsity for his senior year. Ryder White gets a nice stop over to McPherson. McPherson gets 2 at the other end, and McPherson is on the board for his 4th point, or 5th point, excuse me. Ryder White over in the corner, tries to get a 3 ball. Walker contests the shot. McPherson over to White. White gets it back over to McPherson. McPherson drives, spins, tries to get over to Lee, but Lee does not get that. Coach Stoughton's telling his team to slow down because his team is in the driver's seat so far. They're up a hefty margin. John Paul still trying to fight to win this game. McPherson contests the shot. Air ball. Lee and Lizelle in the paint trying to contest that shot. They are doing a pretty good job so far. Lee blocks that shot, but Lizelle guarding that one. Foul. Ooh. Tough set of plays there for Highland Park. John Paul is getting fired up now after Lizelle gives up a point and gets a blocked impound. And Coach Stoughton calls a timeout. Trying to reset this team as they are trying to get way too urgent with the basketball here. They just need to slow up their tempo just to get this game back in control. John Paul on the line for 2. Lee and White communicating across the court. Second one is up and not good. Lizelle with the rebound. Pass is disrupted, but Lizelle blocks that shot. Slings it over to Lee, but the pass is intercepted. Ooh, Lizelle has got to be beating himself up right now after a tough sequence of plays. John Paul using that pick and roll, but the pass is off. They manage to get it back. Pop a 3. No good. In the paint, they get that shot to go, and it's a 24-point lead for the Highland Park Scots, but it looks like it's going to be a foul on John Paul as they are trying to get way too aggressive with their full court press. And Seville subs in for Ryder White, trying to get more defense on the court. Lee gets it to McPherson, throws it up to Walker. Walker drives and gets fouled. Walker's going to the line for 2. This John Paul team is not very disciplined on the defensive floor. They have 4 fouls on 1 player, number 12 so far. Walker's going to go to the line for 2. Trying to get his 7th point of the game. It's up and in. Two bounces of basketball for Walker, and the second one is in. John Paul still trying to get this back in this game. Attempting a 3, Lee with the rebound. McPherson may have stepped out there, but he still gets the bucket. Tough basket there for McPherson. Starting to come into his zone so far, as he's got 7. McPherson gets shaken up on the pick and roll, but gets his hand on the ball there. McPherson falls tough, and his mouth guard is getting stepped on a ton. He's got to feel bad. That germ's getting on in a pandemic. He's still got his mouth guard in his hand, and he still wants the ball. Lee drives in over to Lizelle. Lizelle gets a cool bucket off a great pass from Lee. Lizelle continuing to show out. He's got 18 so far. A very subtle 18, though. He's not making these big plays. He's just working the paint. McPherson gets a rebound. Slings it over to Walker. Walker with the 3 ball. No good. Lee touches the hand on the ball. He looked like Megatron there for a minute, but it looks like they're going to go to the line for an and 1 situation. Milton is subbing in for McPherson, and it's a timeout for Coach Sowden and his Highland Park Scotties. One shot for John Paul Cardinals. Cardinals still trying to fight back with tooth and nail in this game. Free throws falls. Highland Park getting this ball up by passing, not by running, and it's going to be a blocking foul. And Milton's going to inbound. Still Highland Park ball. Milton throws it up for Lizelle. Lizelle back to Milton. Milton's got a wide open shot. He wanted to take that, but he slings it over to Lee. Lee does not get that tray ball to fall. Lee back on the defensive end. Milton tries to get a charge, but it is not called. Milton drives, slows it up, goes back in. Milton gets it over to Lizelle, gets it back to him. Lee on the wing. Lee slings it over to Seville. Walker drives, gets fouled heavily by both 20 and 21. 21 is hurting right now. Looks like it's his hammy. And that's 2 for Walker. 1 is up, 1 is down. Flynn Hatch subbing in for Charlie Lizelle. Charlie Lizelle's got a game so far. Second one falls for Walker. He's got 10. Flynn Hatch playing defense at the corner. Cardinals trying to work the ball around, trying to find an open 3. Scott's playing terrific defense, though. And that's a travel for your Highland, not your Highland Park Scots, your John Paul Cardinals. Came out a result of some terrific defense from your guards and your big in the game, Flynn Hatch. Hatch swings it over to Seville. Seville does not get that to fall. Seville fouls, and that's an and 1 for the Cardinals. Nearing the end of this fourth quarter, third quarter. Free throw falls. Slinging it around. Walker running the offense as McPherson is on the bench. Walker puts his butt into him. Gets it over to Milton. Milton to Lee. Lee to Hatch. Seville drives. Slings it over to Lee. Lee shoots. Does not get it to fall. Hatch trying to tip it in, but it does not fall. Milton helping his adversary out. And it's end of your third quarter. Highland Park Scotties continuing their dominance into the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to go till this game is over, and I can go get my lunch. Flynn Hatch starting out the game on a defensive possession. Cardinals trying to up that tempo. Causes them to fumble a little bit. And that layup is missed, but the rebound is up. Gets it up and in. Lee getting some fancy moves, crossover behind the back. Lee gets it into Seville. Seville over to Milton. Milton shoots. Does not get it to fall. Hatch starting up with that full court D. Hatch getting his hand on that, gets the steal, slings it into Milton. Milton gets the foul. Ooh, that is a tough play. They all jumped for that. Legs are entangled. And Milton goes to the line for 2. He got them all in the pump fake. That was a really nice pump fake. Milton's first free throw does not fall. Milton's second free throw, they are going to fall. Seville draws a foul. Excuse me, Seville actually is the one who is fouling. Second free throw falls. Melton slinging it up into the front court. Hatch gets that pass, and it does not fall. Tries to get the rebound. Walker managed to. And Walker gets that bucket. He's got 12. Hatch getting a little bit exposed there. And Milton. Is that a foul on Milton, or is that a foul on Cardinals? Milton's a little bit shaken up there. And that's going to be a foul on Milton. Ryder White going to sub in. And Davis Lee is going to go out, that three-point god. Second free throw falls. Getting it all the way up to Dylan, who gets it into Hatch, but Hatch is blocked at the other end. But Dylan gets that rebound. He's got the same sort of possession there. He gets that bucket. He's got 14. Ryder White, good defense there. Gets that spin layup to fall out of the backboard. Hatch does not get that bucket, but a tough fight for the ball goes in favor of your Highland Park Scots. Milton over to Ryder. Ryder White does not get it to fall. Ryder White does get the rebound, though. Crossing up. Fancy moves there from White. Hatch over to Milton. Milton drives, gets it up. Does not get it to fall. Milton playing responsive defense, though. Still trying to put an effort. Seville and Ryder White having good defense. Walker getting the fast break and gets that bucket. Dylan Walker's got 16. Ooh, Milton almost got in there for the steal. And Seville tries to draw the charge. And he is going to go to the line. Looks like Lizelle and McPherson are going to sub in. And Lee, too. Basically a fresh new lineup in, as they are only running an 8-man rotation with a couple players missing. Lee gets it into Lizelle. Lizelle does not get that bucket. And Cardinals going to try to push that tempo. Driving in. And Lizelle tries to get the block, but he fails. And it is still a 22-point lead for your Highland Park Scotties. Ryder White driving in. Over to Walker. Walker, fancy layup. Dylan, I did not know you could do that, my friend. You've got 18 so far. Tied up with Charlie Lizelle. Lizelle contests the shot. Still falls, though. Good defense there from Lizelle. McPherson taking up the ball on that offense. Over to Lizelle. Lizelle back to Lee. Lee drives. And Lee does not get the fall. Trying hard for that rebound, though. Lee is going to try to get the steal, but they managed to get the ball back. And John Paul is going to get an easy bucket at the other end. Good possession there for John Paul as they managed to get that ball back. Managed to get 2 points on the board to cut that deficit to 19. Excuse me. Ryder White's inbound to McPherson. McPherson trying to find an open lane to pass. He's just going to take it. Ryder White takes the shot. Falls. Ryder's got a 3. He's got 12. Ryder White gets steal, pushes tempo, gets it over, and does not get that to fall. But Lizelle grabs the rebound, and Lizelle has got a 20 bomb. He's hit that 20 mark. Lee gets it over to Ryder White. Ryder White shot. Nope. Lee gets the rebound, tries to tip it back in. Nope. And defensive possession for Highland Park. But Ryder White saves it, throws it up, and nearly gets it to come back in. And soon they should hit that 90-point mark. I mean, look at the scores right now. Davis Lee's got 15. Dylan Walker's got 18. Ryder White's got 12. Todd McPherson's got 7. And so far, my MVP of this game, Charlie Lizelle, he's got 20. Lizelle contests. Good contest. Walker to Lizelle. Lizelle trying for 22. He's got it. Cardinals trying to get it in, but they get that too. McPherson way over his head. Over to Lee. Back to McPherson. And McPherson's going to drive. Kick it out to Walker. Walker shot. No good. Davis Lee. Clever defensive possession. kind of reminded me of a James Harden play. Not referring as defense is bad, just reminded me of an old play where James Harden stole the ball in the same sort of manner. Because from what I can tell, Davis does not have the same defensive effort as James Harden. He's got a way better defensive effort, Davis does. Ryder White with the shot. Does not get it to fall.
I actually moved up here from Austin. Oh, from Austin. Yeah. So Microsoft has a big campus here.
Walker working off that pick and roll. Cardinals get a 3 up, and it falls. That's 58. McPherson is going to take it up. Working it around. Gets it to Davis Lee. Lee to Ryder. Ryder hesitates for the shot. Gets it into Lizelle. Lizelle tries for 24, but does not get it to fall. Ryder White taps the ball. Gets it over to Walker. Walker's going to try to drive. He's going to slow it up. Kick it. A bounce pass to McPherson. McPherson has got 9. We are about to see every single player on the court have double-digit scoring numbers if Ryder White, or not Ryder White, Todd McPherson tries to get the bucket. And they have hit that 80 mark. Your Highland Park Scots still up by 20. McPherson gets a shot. Ryder White nails a 3. Ryder, you have obviously added that 3-point shot to your arsenal over the offseason. You, my friend, have 15. Walker gets the rebound, slings it to Davis Lee. Davis Lee gets the jelly layup. Or not jelly, but underhand layup. And that's 40 seconds till a 25-point dub for your Highland Park Scots. Their first official win of the season on their regular season totals. And Milton, Hatch, and Seville check in for Walker, McPherson, and White. Lizelle and Milton conversing about the game. John Paul having a not so good body language. These Cardinals look defeated, and obviously they are. And this game is over, and you're going about to see the John Paul Cardinals take on your Highland Park varsity team. Their team is, from what I'm hearing, very stacked. They have a kid who is 6'9". They have a kid going to Tech, a kid going to A&M. They are a very good team, and maybe your Highland Park Scots can get a dub there. But as of now, your JV Gold team, pending a 23-second miracle from a John Paul Cardinals team that is not the best. Hatch tips it off of the inbound. Pending on a miracle, though, these Scots are going to come out with the dub. And this is not the final roster, I may mind you, but as the football season is not over, you still have players that are going to play basketball still in their football bodies, but right now football takes priority over basketball because, you know, we do live in Texas. Milton going to try to dribble out the clock, and it looks like Lee is going to take it, and this game is over. 86-61 for your Highland Park Scots. My MVP for tonight, not tonight, today, Charlie Lizelle. He has dropped a 22 bomb in his JV Gold debut. Good on him, good on his family. Really convincing win here for the Highland Park Scots. Great defense, great offense, putting up 86 in their regular season debut. My name is Owen Marie. I'm signing off. Have a good day. Go Scotties.